Day 1. Okay.
How's that bad stomach thing again?
Oh my god.
Okay, what's going on here? I do know, or at least my impression, is that this is a show about young boys, the struggle of young boys, how they're raised, how perhaps we fail them. That's kind of the impression I've got. That phone call there and the dad's reaction. I don't know the context, but the fact that he sighed a little bit, I wonder if the kid, maybe he is lying, maybe it isn't a stomach thing, but maybe it's something else. We'll see. I hope the show digs into it a little bit.
Get through like 6 a day.
Ew, the full bushel. It's kind of what you're carrying.
Stop, just forget it.
Okay, don't ask me then. Don't want to go, does he?
And I'm the soft touch. Mm-hmm. So sorry.
Vile. Oh, I can really smell that.
Beautiful. Damn. Potent, eh?
Police! Get down on the floor!
Oh, God.
No, you've got the wrong house, I'm telling you.
All right, Stevie boy. I do love a bit of Stephen Graham, you know.
Get your hands in the air!
Wow.
He's in his bedroom!
Tell you what, mate. That's wild in England.
Okay.
Armed police coming for a kid.
And I'm arresting you on suspicion of murder.
Whew. That is intense, mate.
Do you understand?
I haven't done anything!
Do you
Did he not?
Tell him you understand, Jay!
All right, I understand.
Yeah, we gotta get it sorted out, eh?
You want to change your trousers? You want me to get your dad?
It's very nice of you, mate. Respectful. Sweet.
Jay?
Yeah, it's really sweet. At the end of the day, he's a kid. Murder's murder. Gotta take it seriously, but it does seem a little excessive force. I don't know the context of
Let's go, let's go.
the murder. Was it supposed to be a gun or a knife?
Your son, he's been arrested on suspicion of murder, right? He could.
What a thing to hear.
You can follow us there. It's on Haywood Street. Do you know where that...
Yeah, look, I'll wait until, you know, I know more to render judgment, but it does seem a little bit like, yeah, it's murder. But if they know it's a young kid to the point that they went straight to his bedroom, they knew who it was, it seems like a lot. This seems a bit excessive in the way the police have handled it.
You might be entitled to compensation for any mess that we've caused you today.
What about the trauma, dude? Money can't fix trauma.
Year-old, he's 13.
Do you want
Yeah, so I'm gonna go back.
Why'd you need guns for a 13-year-old? He's 13.
I agree.
Look, he's had guns in his face and everything.
Yeah, right. This is the thing. Let's say that he has done it. I don't know at this point. I'm willing to believe he has. Even so, if a kid of that age has done something like that, you know he's troubled somewhere. Even if you don't know specifics. I get that with that knowledge, it's like, well, we don't know how he's going to behave. We might need force. At the same time, the fact that he's that troubled, going into his family home with how many was, like 6 of them with like, not handguns, mate. Like big guns going in. That's gonna mess him up more, respectfully. And not only that, he has a sister, a young girl. You're gonna give her trauma. She's innocent, I would assume. I don't know, man. Seems a bit sus at the moment for me. Even, like, this is what I mean. Even if he's guilty, it just seems a little intense, mate. Hey, the episode starts quick, though. It hooks you in, doesn't it? Because I'm like, so many questions.
Don't say none, okay?
Yeah, stum, dude. Wow, that he's just eating apples and farting in his car before this, man. That's crazy. What a shift. What a tone shift, man. Yeah, and this cop here is a dad. Maybe why he's being a little gentler, but...
When asked, you ask for a solicitor, okay?
Hey, nice, cool. All right.
Speak to your parents about it when you get to the station.
Good man. By the way, just to quickly clarify, because I know I have like a big American audience. This is in England. Like, unless they know that a gun's been used, it's very likely that the kid's not got a gun. So that's what I mean when I'm talking about excessive force. Like, that's not a common thing. Guns aren't common here at all. With that context, seems like a lot.
Jamie, this is Derek. Derek will be your appropriate adult for the purpose of this arrest, all right?
You've been quiet, mate, so far.
Or you can even have one of your parents.
I do like that there seems to be a lot of softness from this cop here. Because it's like, yeah, you've got to take into account that he's a kid. Difficult, innit? You're caught between doing your job and taking murder seriously, a murder charge. But it's that personal aspect of it of, okay, we are all adults taking in a child. It would be more interesting if he did it, by the way, the kid. Like, from a writing perspective. So I'm kind of running with that. I kind of assume he has at this point. I like how the way it's shot and the patience with it. We are just going back and forth in this car with the camera, music playing. It's letting you as the audience sit in it. All of the ways that I'm kind of thinking about it. The music's playing over his words. You're not really supposed to be dialed into the conversation. That's not what this scene's about. It's about making the audience sit and think and wonder, which is organically building up anticipation in the audience. I also think it's really important to do that, right? Like, everything's happening really quickly, and you as the audience are kind of like, whoa, okay. Do you know what I mean? That kind of feeling. And that is, I think, really important to slow everything down a little bit. Not too much. I think we're getting, you know, I love the one shot, right? We're going straight to the police station. I love that it is kind of just the scene continuing. That's really cool. But I think the organic slowing down is really effective here.
Just try and answer my questions, please, son. And will you be wanting a solicitor?
Yeah.
Solid.
Now, would you like that to be one of your parents, or would you like that to be Derek?
Yeah, I'd like my dad, please.
Are you sure? You can have a think about that if you want.
I want my dad's, please.
Poor Derek.
You had your breakfast, son?
No.
That is an important question, to be fair.
About the offence you are suspected of.
I love how this is filmed.
24 hours.
The long camera shots, the pan into his face, you can see all of the performance. I love that stuff, man. It's just really letting the actors work, right? And it draws you in. I do think sometimes in modern filmmaking, there is an instinct, I think, to shoot things very quick, flick quite quick between scenes. You know what I mean? One camera angle, not much dynamism in the shot. And I do think that doesn't allow you as much to sink into, you know, a show or a film as much as you perhaps naturally would want to. If, you know, it's compelling or whatever. I think this kind of filmmaking is so much more effective in, like I say, drawing you in, because you're sitting in this world for longer, right? You're seeing the actors actually work to the point that it breaks down that wall of, okay, that's an actor acting on screen right now. And it's like, if they're doing a good job, then suddenly they're not an actor, they're a character, they're a person, because you're seeing everything. Sorry, I know this is basic stuff, but it's small stuff, and you don't always see it nowadays, and I do think that it does have such a different effect on an audience.
And the sooner we do this, the sooner we can bring your dad in.
Epic.
Are cornflakes all right for you, Jamie?
Ask for crunchy nut, mate, trust me.
Jamie, you're doing well, son. This bit's nearly over now. You're doing really well.
Nice. Everyone's been actually really lovely. This guy, I love him.
All right, son.
If he's done it, we really need to get to the bottom of why. Because a young kid shouldn't be doing that and shouldn't feel the need or the desire to do that. Yeah, old Deza there. Sorry, dude. You've been subbed out already. That sucks. When we get in the Deza spin-off, do you know what I mean? Deza, this is why you're getting subbed out, mate. You need some comforting words. Has this all been a one-shot? Is this all a one-shot? I love that. Stevie loves those, doesn't he? Sorry, Stephen Graham. There was a really cool film that he did. Boiling Point. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, really cool film. All of it, one shot.
For a solicitor, is there a family one that you guys have? Well, we can provide one.
Was that one of yours, is it, yeah?
It's a service that we have here free of charge, if asked for.
Yeah, but free normally means no good, though, doesn't it?
Kind of.
I completely understand your concerns, but in my experience, they're very competent solicitors, so...
Yeah.
Okay.
Not much choice if you don't come from money.
Threw my daughter on the floor.
They told you to get on the floor.
That is what they did, Mum.
Right.
Okay.
Everything's a little heightened, innit?
Why did he pick you? He's not good with needles.
Why did he pick you? Ah, man, I'm sorry. I wasn't paying enough attention, I guess. Because they have been saying to the kid all this time. Did they say you can choose your mum or dad? Or did they say you can choose your dad if you want? Did they, like, lead him towards the dad? It'll be interesting. I'm so sorry. I should have paid more attention. I'm not sure, actually. So I won't linger on it, because I'm not sure. But in a show that seems very centered around young boys, young men, and her question, why did he pick you? Perhaps we're going to get into a little bit some of this conversation of this emphasis on the pressure, right? This kind of almost societal thing of the men are the ones that do everything should, right? Because, I mean, I think that does lead down into young people, right? It shouldn't be that way. And obviously I'm talking very generally. This isn't always the case by any means, but I think a lot of the time our young boys are taught from a very young age to shoulder all of the burden, to be strong, to be the protector, all of this stuff, right? It's like you've got to be the head of the family one day. You've got to be the leader. All this stuff is what I'm getting at. And I do wonder, that's why I ask, I do wonder whether they did sort of just naturally, maybe they didn't even realise, the police, but they did kind of push him towards choosing his dad there. There's something telling in that, I think, and perhaps tied up in the theme of, like I say, how we raise young people, how we raise young boys, and the amount of pressure that puts on them.
There's a coffee machine there. It's drinkable. Help yourself. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, what else can you say, really?
Do you want a coffee, love?
Always, dude. Please. God damn, just pour it down my throat. Sorry, that was a bit intense.
Maybe you should go home, mate.
Yeah, you should.
And
What would I
what?
do there?
Yeah, she's better off with you rather than being alone, mate, in a house that's messed up.
You see it on the telly all the time. It's just a mistake.
Yeah, there's a reason that they think it, though.
He hasn't done anything, has he?
No, of course he hasn't.
Yeah, they're in denial. They're not even considering it yet, are they? That it might be true. Completely fair, though. You're a young kid. You're never going to think that, are you? Yeah, this whole thing's a one-shot. Oh, man, that's so cool.
All right.
Does make it a little bit like theatre to me. It's not at all, but a little bit closer to that experience.
You want a cigarette right now?
Don't start me off, man. You worried about the dad? I had this old case once, right?
Go on.
Young boy. It took us months before we realised what the dad was doing to him.
Ooh, I mean, hey.
I don't see it, mate. I don't.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
You're right.
Might be wrong. Yeah, and he's already looking for reasons that it's not the kid or the kid is, do you know what I mean? Which I think is completely fair, and I think that's right. Because if the kid did do it, there is clearly a reason outside of the kid that made him do that. I'm so curious as to, if it is the case that he did it, what that reason is and where we're going to come down on. And actually, I do wonder because, again, I TV film, specific scenes are written to, I think, show you something, right? And this little interaction here, him bringing up that past experience, the dad was doing something, it would be really interesting now, because they're kind of throwing you that way, aren't they? And it would be more of a shock factor now if actually the dad, the mum, they're brilliant, they're perfect, they're loving, and even despite that, the kid still did something for some other reason. What do you do with that? What do you do with that as a parent? What do you do with that as a cop? What do you do with that as a society? Do you know what I mean? And I think that would be so much more interesting. And that interaction is throwing me there a little bit. Because I feel like that will hit harder if they do that now. Yeah, 4 episodes. It's basically a long film, innit?
Nice of you to join us.
You're joking, mate. Do you know what time it is?
Well, he's been accused of murdering someone with a kitchen knife.
Knife, okay. Yeah, seems excessive force with all the guns, mate, considering his age, if I'm honest with you.
Cross that bridge when we come to it, won't we? Yeah?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sound.
Cool.
I love that. Sorry, this is so silly. But just the little way that he said, won't we? I feel like he kind of stumbled over it a little bit because he's eating and it's one take, right? This is why I talk about it like it's theatre. Because it's like, you do just have to try and get the best take that you possibly can. Like, there's no do-overs. If someone kind of screws up, you just have to do the whole thing again, right? Point being, I love that because they just had, do you know what I mean? This was probably the best take. In any other thing, if they're cutting and it's a normal thing, it's not a one shot, they would have used a different take for that, probably, just because of that. But I love that because it's more human, because this is the thing people do, humans do. They stumble over their words. They kind of, do you know what I mean? It's not said perfect. Personal preference, but I just love to see that stuff. And I think the one shot nature of this means that exists and is in this. And yeah, it makes it more real for me.
Cross that bridge when we come to it, won't we?
That.
Yeah, sound.
Cool.
Now you can tell what he's saying, but...
Anyway, did Adam go in?
Yeah, I feel like his son's going to come into it at some point.
Can you explain why you might need a lawyer? So I don't get trapped saying the wrong thing.
Also a good answer.
I think you're a bright boy.
Go on, eat the cornflakes.
Be better for a little food, dude. Look, man, I want to believe him, but... I don't know. We're here for a reason.
Of course I believe you. You're my son, aren't you?
Yeah, you kind of got to. Until you know otherwise, of course, that's where you're going to go.
Mate. He's a bright boy, you know. I hate juvenile cases, mate.
No one likes him.
Be weird if you did.
I'll be briefed as to the particulars of the case.
Yeah, give us details, mate.
He tore the house apart.
That's sometimes the name of the game. The question is whether or not that was proportionate. We'll look at that later.
Good.
He asked me to be his thing, was it?
Appropriate adult.
Yeah, and already, so it doesn't necessarily mean anything, but he didn't even know. He looked at her. She's paying attention. Do you know what I mean? I feel like maybe I don't know the relationship, the dynamic, but it does tell you a lot. I think it means something, and I think the show is trying to tell you something, that the kid chose his dad. There's a certain respect there for his dad that isn't there for his mum, and I do wonder if we're gonna come back to that. And we're seeing here, you know, the show demonstrating he looks at her. It's the thing. What's the thing? She gives it. She gives the word. She knows what's going on. She's kind of paying attention. He seems a little, bless him. You know, look, hey, lots going on. Very emotional, very traumatic time for everybody involved. I'm not blaming him, but the dad does seem a little out of his depth. They're all out of their depth, but in a way that the mum isn't quite. You know what I mean? And so anyway, I think the more important thing in what I'm talking about here is perhaps the reason the kid chose the dad over the mum. And I think that perhaps, who did he kill? Was it a girl or a boy? I'll be interested to see. So I, reserve judgment, but I do wonder if there's an inherent lack of respect for women. Because I have a feeling, by the way, a little prediction, we'll see. If it turns out the kid's done it, I think Stephen, the dad, I think he's going to get angry and have a go at him. I don't think the mum would do that. Might be wrong, but we'll see.
Incident took place at 10:13 p.m. last night. Arrest.
Last night, really?
Can I know anything about the victim?
Oh, you will do.
Okay.
Okay.
Has he been told his right to silence?
Yes.
Is he clear on what that means?
Yes.
Has he been fed?
He's had the opportunity to eat.
All right. Little clipped.
Scratches on his arm. Blood at the scene.
Really?
Multiple wounds. It's in there.
Yeah, I mean, look, as much as I'm being gentle on the kid, at the end of the day, if he's done it, there's another kid, presumably, we don't know anything about him, that's dead as a result. So I do get on the flip side of this, there's a lot of ire to be had. You can't give respect and care and empathy to this kid without also giving it to the victim. And at the end of the day, when you pull out of it a little bit, take a step back, one's done the killing, one's killed, right? All of this obviously assuming he's done it, but yeah, it's nuanced, right? It's not black and white. This is a really complex thing.
How's Jamie around him?
Don't know.
What is that all I'm getting?
Yep. Don't be so excited.
I'm not excited.
Okay.
Just wait in here, please, Mr. Miller. And your son.
That cop is huge. Jesus. Sorry. Stevie boy. I don't know how to... Maybe Stevie's small. I don't know. God damn doing this.
We're talking a bit, but I didn't want you wondering who this strange man was. All right.
Good for you, mate.
Let's do your other hand. So, left thumb. That's it. Thank you. Index finger.
There was a little summit there. I don't know, a little bit of iron coming through in his gaze. Maybe I'm reading into it.
We need your passcode just so we can access your phone if that's okay.
There's no need to give him that, Jimmy.
I don't really like
No,
needles.
he's no good with needles, love.
Okay.
May harm your defence if you refuse.
Dad?
You're gonna be okay.
You're going to be okay. Yeah, the way that he approached that, are you going to be okay? I feel like his mum wouldn't have asked him that question. She would have comforted him. More maybe along the lines of, you're going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Rather than asking, do you know what I mean? Yeah. He's been given a lot of the, how do you want to call it? The leadership role, right? The parental role in this situation. Mum's words coming back a little bit. Why did he ask for you? I think she's probably, from what I've seen of the little dialogue that we've had of the mum and the dad, she would probably fit this situation better and be better for him in this situation. And I do wonder whether there is a subtle commentary of the man who's always pushed forth, even if he's perhaps not the best person for that thing. Gender roles, right? I feel like we're probably going to get into it over the course of this show, so let's bring it up sooner rather than later, right?
You'll be fine, I won't take long, I promise.
Yeah, even her coming in, you'll be fine, not asking him, you'll be fine. There is a subtle difference in the language being used. Dad's not reaching out, not comforting him physically. I'll hold your hand, son. Nothing like that, just watching. Do you know what I mean?
Looking at your dad nice and still for me.
There you go. Yeah, she's prompting him. Keep looking at your dad, and he kind of goes, yep. By the way, I'm not having a go at the dad. I know sometimes, things that I say can be taken out of context or not be taken the way that I intend them to be taken. Not having a go at him, just neutrally observing the differences between him, the mum, the choices being made, the dialogue, where the dialogue is leading me to think what I feel like the show is trying to demonstrate with the dialogue, how it's been written, and what that means, and what the show is ultimately going for thematically, right? In this sense of masculinity, the young kid, the dad, how they're making choices, why, and what effect that has, right?
I'm going to have to ask you to take your clothes off.
I'm not too sure about this, mate.
But this is a serious offence. I need to make sure that there's no other cuts or bruises that we need to be aware of.
Right, domestic abuse now.
And you're two grown men looking at your bits.
I wasn't accused of a crime.
Ain't accused. He hasn't been found guilty. He's been accused.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. They're entitled to underpace. I don't know you from Adam, mate. Mr. Miller, we know what I mean.
You gotta calm down, dude.
Cooperate with this person.
Yeah. He's immediately gone to combat. He's gone combative mode. Aggression. Right. And again, maybe I'm assuming, but I don't think from what I've seen of the mum. And yeah, she was, I think appropriately angry about the house, the guns. I was the same. In this situation, though, I don't think it's necessarily as appropriate to immediately go to anger. I can understand the feeling. I can understand not liking it. But the cop is right. He's been accused of something really serious. And I do think, he walked past a minute ago. The other cop has talked about it, the past case that he had. This idea of the dad or someone, not even the dad, but someone doing something to the kid domestic abuse. That's what I think they're also checking for, right? He's talking about concealed weapons, but two birds, one stone. He's not going to say that to the dad, is he? But yeah, I don't think the mum would react this way. And it's interesting that we're seeing aggression in a man. And I mean, look, at the end of the day, if the kid has done something, where's he got that from? Where's he got that impulse from? Where's he got... Because that's where kids get it from a lot of the time. Most of the time, I'm not saying all of the time, but a lot of the time it comes from parents because they learn from you. So it's like if you as a parent are reacting in anger, which I'm seeing from the dad here, he had a choice in this moment to react a certain way, and he chose to go to combative. That is a choice or a way of being that you are in life that is a product of the way that you process emotions, a product of the way that you go through life, and is indicative of the kind of parent you are, even if he's a good man. And from what I've seen, he also seems like a good man. And I'm sure a lot of people who are watching this, perhaps parents who see him getting angry and feel like that's justified. I'm not saying it's not on some level justified. I'm just saying in the realm of media, I do think that things are written a certain way for a reason. The focus, the theme seems to be masculinity, the young boy, combined with the fact that the dad's been chosen over the mum, and now the dad is acting, this way. It's interesting. Let's say that.
It's fine.
You okay?
I don't mind.
The kid having to be mature as a result of his dad's actions there. Dad, it's okay. It's interesting he's wearing orange too, kind of like a prison jumpsuit. I don't think that's an English thing. Is that an American thing? I'm actually not sure now that I talk about it. Yeah, I love it. Giving an actor like this a big close-up, big long close-up. Lovely. Yeah, just the idea of orange and the idea of, is he ultimately responsible? Or partly? Is that where it's going to go? So I think whenever you're talking about a kid this way, like I say a lot of the time, and it might not be vindictive or on purpose, but maybe as a result of some kind of parenting, something, I think that's fair to say. Kids learn. They get things from adults in their lives. If they're acting like this, perpetrating stuff like this, there's something down the line, mate, that's made them act that way.
Jamie, do you want to pop yourself on the other side of that table?
Yeah, bless him. I think Steve's just quite small. Just looking at their heights now.
Over and done with, I'm glad to say, and I thought you handled it extremely well, Jamie.
Yeah, solid work, dude.
Smart kid.
Yeah.
There's no way you did it. My job, and your dad's job, is to protect you whatever happened last night.
Okay.
So all I want you to do is say no comment, not to everything. That won't go down well.
I mean, that's pretty much everything they're going to ask now.
Where were you last night, Jamie?
No comment.
I wonder, was he asking the questions about the favourite subject to determine how smart he was, to then determine what strategy to go for? I wonder, this solicitor. Like, okay, this kid's smart. He can go for the no comment thing. I mean, look, I'm not a professional. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a solicitor. That doesn't seem like the most foolproof strategy. Maybe it is. He says no, not to everything. And then it's like, okay, just about the thing that you're here for. And it's like, well, that's going to be everything pretty much. Is that the best advice? I'm suddenly reminded that this guy's free. And the comments before about, okay, well, if they're free, they're not very good. Then the cop replied with, well, they're good. But then we saw the solicitor with the cops and you could tell there wasn't a lot of respect there for him. So it's like, it does then come across like the cops are telling the family one thing while they feel another. There's not a lot of respect there. I think you can tell that in that conversation where the solicitor sat down with them. And yet they told the family that he's good and that they should go with him. But the impression that I'm getting from this scene is actually, I don't know if he is good. And perhaps that strategy that he's going for with the no comment is determined on how smart he thinks the kid is, what strategy he thinks with this kid he can get away with. They were also talking to the solicitor about don't look excited. Is he trying to get a big case, a big win for his own career? I don't know. Because this is big. This is going to hit the news. Right, eventually. Everyone's going to be interested in this. And whoever's representing him is going to get a little bit of limelight. So I wonder if we're going to go a little bit that way.
All right, but you're a very bright lad.
Mm.
And your dad can also speak up whenever he chooses.
Ooh, do we want to dial that a little bit down?
I haven't done anything wrong.
Well, that makes it easy then, doesn't it? Right, I'm going to...
Is that it?
I'll be back for you. All right?
I mean, fine, fair. At the end of the day, he's only telling them what they need.
I haven't got a clue what I'm doing here.
Right.
What do we say?
I haven't got a clue what I'm doing here. More fuel for the fire, more evidence to suggest that the mum would have been better in this position.
Never even been in a police station before. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
I just don't want to get it wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll be fine.
And I will just double down on, I don't think he's a bad guy. I genuinely don't. But I do wonder, and it's a prevalent conversation, especially nowadays, as to you can be a parent that doesn't do obviously bad things like domestic abuse, but you can still get it wrong because you're not, I don't know, maybe caring for your kid in the right way, or maybe just not offering the safety and openness and communication that perhaps you should be. So yeah, sorry, a lot of assuming, a lot of guessing, a lot of stuff that I've been saying this episode that maybe I'll take back, but I'll be really interested to actually see the details of the case, what's caused him to do it, where perhaps you can guess as to why he's done it, if he's done it, how culpable are the parents, and where is that motivation. But like I say, I really do want to just say, I don't think the parents are bad people. When I was talking about the dad before, it was very much from a perspective of subtle stuff, as opposed to more overt stuff. Parents are human too. Parents get things wrong.
I think the police have some pretty compelling evidence.
Damn.
They wouldn't have been able to make the entrance that they did.
Right.
And suck it up, okay?
Suck it up. Kind of an echo, isn't there, of what we tell boys. Suck it up. Just get on with it. It's interesting. It's interesting terminology. It's interesting he said that. It's interesting that was written. Have we been telling this kid, just suck it up, just get on with it? Have things been building up in the background? Because that's what happens. That's not dealing or processing with what you're feeling. That is not actionable advice. That is not any advice you can do anything with. It is just tamping down on those emotions, which isn't healthy, because eventually that's going to come out, or it's going to rear its head in some way in your life when you're not expecting it, because that's emotion. You can't just tamp it down. It's going to come out, mate. It is. And you've just got to learn processes. You know, you've got to learn healthy processes to make sure that doesn't control you, one, but two, like I say, rear its head in ways that hurt those around you.
Be back for you shortly. Okay.
Older man like this, the dad, I bet he's been told to suck it up his whole life, so when someone says that to him, of course, it's like, you're right. Yeah, of course. We shouldn't normalise this. You need to open yourself up to your son, have a conversation here. A little bit.
Okay.
Be a yeah, cool.
Look at me. I'm gonna ask you once. Okay?
That's a bit of iron in your toe, mate.
I want you to tell me the truth.
Okay. I get that you've got to ask. I don't know if that was done super gently.
No.
Okay.
Promise.
Ooh. Hey, maybe he didn't. Plot twist.
Okay, then everything's gonna be alright then, isn't it? Hey?
I'm waiting for the penny to drop. I'm waiting for the blow up, man.
This interview will be recorded, audio and video. Is that okay, Jamie?
Is that okay, Jamie? Did he have a choice?
Sit up.
Even just that. Sit up. Quite authoritative. I know that I'm making sweeping statements, but it's subtle stuff, and if it was just one time, it's not a big deal. But I keep seeing certain inclinations the dad has as to how he is as a parent that subtly is quite, like I say, authoritative. He errs on the side of iron in some ways. I'm just thinking back to how he replied and how he was combative in regard to the cops wanting to strip search Jamie. Sit up there. Come on, respect, show respect. Hey, that is, you know what I mean? Like, that sort of thing is laced with a strict undertone. The way he asked Jamie, did you do it? I'm going to ask you once. That phrase itself, again, shows you a lot about the dynamic and the way in which Graham's character as a dad is. And I think that's a very typical thing as well. But I'm just saying that that is not approaching life or your kid or parenting with a gentle hand. And I'm not saying he's not gentle in other ways, but it does show a pattern.
Last night.
Yeah.
That's a no comment, that, I think, mate.
No comment.
Yep.
That's not really helpful, is it, Jamie? I've been reading your school reports.
What kind of kid is he?
Doing really well. You're a good student.
Okay. Behaviour, though.
Want to take your A-levels?
It's funny, innit? That's several times now it's been repeated how good a student he is, how smart a kid, how clever a kid. At least for maybe 5 times. Different characters. The nurse came out, smart kid. The solicitor, smart kid. Cop there, smart kid. Everyone, smart kid, smart kid, smart kid. But what do they mean by that? Academically smart. And now I'm asking, yeah, but what do we know about his behaviour? Who is he as a human? You know what I mean? I think the emphasis on what kind of kid he is being shown through a lens of education and academic as opposed to behaviour. How is he as a human? How is he developing as a person? Is he good? Is he bad? Is he regulating his emotions? Is he angry? Is he violent? All things I have a feeling we're going to find out. But my point is that the emphasis on all of these adults, all of these professionals, is always erring towards the side of academic as opposed to the human. And what does that show? And it's true. That's how we are, right? I think a lot of the time, how we see people, view people, kids especially. It shows how our focus is on one thing. And by definition of it being focused on that one thing, it's not on the other thing. Of human-wise, where are they at? Are we looking after that side of themselves? But they go hand in hand. They do. And if we're not preparing kids for the adult world in respect to both of those things, then they are going to have trouble, possibly, probably. The chance goes up if we're not looking after them as a person, right? Their mental health. And it's not always in big grand ways of, okay, someone is hitting you. Sometimes it is that emotional thing. Sometimes it is that their needs mentally aren't being met or looked after. Yeah. I don't know. Just again, I'm taking note of it because it's not the first time that's been brought up. And it does show the focus. And that's a societal thing, right? A normalised societal thing that we do need to kind of balance a little bit more.
Problems with your behaviour more recently.
Okay, yeah. This is the meat of it.
Well, you won't get them into trouble.
Battered my door down this morning, so I'm not sure you can say that.
That's fair.
Kind of, yeah.
I'm going to ask you about romantic relationships. I noticed on your Instagram that you reposted a picture of this model.
Okay, social media.
I just like her pictures.
You don't know her name?
Oh.
Objectification. Teaching him objectification of women.
And this woman.
Yeah, look at the dad leaning in.
There's a series of comments.
Oh, God.
And innuendos, which seem pretty aggressive. How do you feel about women, Jamie?
Good question.
What kind of a question is that?
Are you attracted to women?
It's a good question, Dad. Yeah, I mean, there's a conversation to be had as to the social media question. I'm not going to talk about it right now. We're going to just play this out, but perhaps something to talk about a little later.
No, come on.
Okay, I get it. Everyone's trying to do their job here.
She's not in your age group, is she? English.
Just the victim.
Maths and French, you're in set 2. It's good, that.
Yeah, academically.
What is she who's dead then?
Why would you ask that? Well, yeah, she is.
Okay.
I wouldn't even class it as a friendship.
Right.
Was there anything that could be described as sexual between you two?
No, he's 13 years of age.
Just have to ask the question, that's all.
It is painting a picture, isn't it? And he did, when he asked, is she the one that's dead then, it was very flippant. There wasn't any care. And even if you're not friends with the person, if you know the person, there would be an effect, I feel like. Do you know what I mean? He did just run over that. He was quite cold.
Yeah, what time you were home? What would he say?
No, I was on call. I'd been in for 10 minutes when you usually kicked me door in.
Right.
You didn't kill her?
No, I didn't. You've got me confused with someone else.
That wasn't a no comment, was it?
Do you know how many times she was stabbed, Jamie?
7 times.
Oh, okay. Damn. That's rough. That's vindictive, that.
A lot of stabbing.
Jesus.
Does that upset you?
Of course it does. Look at him.
Opportunity for us to take a break, have a private consultation.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, look, it seems as if the kid's got a really unhealthy perception of women in the sense of he objectifies them. You got to assume that's through social media, through his upbringing in the sense of his friends, perhaps his friend group. I don't think that's from his family. And as a result, some interpersonal relationship between him and this girl has resulted in him, I don't know, getting angry and doing it. We'll see.
No, but I don't think it's a good idea. I told him he's not even a friend. He doesn't really know it.
Okay.
And he's got nothing to hide.
Yeah, you think he's innocent because you've taken him by his word. I think the solicitor has got a point, though.
So this is you, isn't it?
Do you think it's one of his mates and not him who's done it?
Why were you following that, Jamie?
Dad.
Answer the question, son.
Mate, it's not just going to go away.
I feel like the solicitor's not chiming in enough.
I haven't done anything wrong.
Do you believe that, I wonder? Did he do it and he still believes that? Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Shall we take that break now?
That's where we are.
I think he's going to be angry with this kid. And I don't think that is fair, actually. I was going to say, I don't blame him for that, for being angry. But God, if you see your kid doing something like this, and he is where he is in the police station right now, you got to reach out a hand, mate. You got to be like, talk to me. You got to establish trust. It's like, what's going on? What's happened? What have you been feeling? Why did you do that? Like, talk to me. If you get angry, he's going to close off. He is. I think too many parents do get angry too quick. Shout too quick. to be honest. I will say, and I'll talk about it at the end, I'm not trying to excuse him, because if he has done it, I'm not trying to excuse him for that. There is another kid, this young girl who's died horribly, and that is obviously not okay, right? I'll talk about it more at the end.
Do you want to give us a reason why?
I mean, that video is bad, really bad, and he should face consequences for that, and there needs to be some kind of rehabilitation, some kind of care for this kid, because this needs to be dealt with. You're only creating a human that isn't going to be fit and healthy for society if you just stick him in prison and leave him to rot. He's only going to grow up into an adult that is not going to be able to assimilate back into society. He's not going to be able to process these things that have caused him to do this. I understand, like, from a lot of people's perspective, considering what he's done, if he has actually done it. I know a lot of people are going to say let him rot, but I just don't agree that should be the case, especially for kids. Something's gone wrong here in him, and I think it's the social media. Perhaps little micro things in his parents, his dad. I haven't seen much from his mum, so I don't know. At the same time, that video is really bad, but that is not evidence that he did it, that he did the stabbing. So, jury's still out a little bit.
You want to say sorry to Katie's mum? Because her daughter is gone.
Yeah. The best thing for this kid is for him to tell the truth, to be honest, because he needs help mentally. He needs care, because I think there's still time to nurture him. Dad, be the parent he needs. Even just seeing that tape and seeing his son do that is big. Dude, turning away from him and closing off in the way. And I think he's going to take it personally, Dad. It's like my son, the son that I raised, and he's turned into this. I think there's going to be a feeling of like, how dare you do this to me, to the son. Do you know what I mean? A little bit. I feel like he's gone internal, and you see that just in the way that he turns away. Jamie touches him, he recoils. And I just think, and again, it's that same thing as when he was doing the needle and the line that he said, are you gonna be okay? As opposed to, I feel like the mum, I think this is a reasonable thing to assume, considering what we've seen of the mum's depiction. I feel like the mum would have said, you'll be okay. Same thing in this room. Dad went internal, pulled away. I feel like if the mum was in this room, she would have opened up and tried to bring him in. You know what I mean? We're seeing in the emotional processing of the dad, perhaps why the son is so emotionally stifled. Because he's learned it from somewhere. He's learned to be that from somewhere. And I think especially in our society and young boys look up to their dads in a different way than they look up to their mum. If they even look up to their mum. He's going to be more inclined to learn from his dad than his mum. And it's like, if I'm seeing this in his dad, chances are he's got it from him. Again, right, look, you know, I'm not trying to take all of the blame off the kid. If the kid's done it, that's also something that he has done, and that's on him. But I'm just saying, especially in regard to kids, you can't just be looking at the kid. Because the way to solve this issue of how we are raising young people, but young boys, you know, in this particular context, the only way that we fix that, the only way you can fix anything, is to identify foundationally the problems that have led to the problem, right? You need to work that out to be able to start fixing it and start processes that are healthier, right? The way that we raise kids needs to be healthier. If we're going to avoid a present, you know, realities like this, we need to know why and where from.
What have you done?
Completely human. The way that the dad's reacting, I get it.
Why?
Not the best way. Good. Okay. Great. Perfect. Yeah. Look, it's a hard situation. Anybody, any adult in that situation with their child is going to be struggling. You know, you're having to process a lot in the moment. He's seen his son in a way that he never has thought of his son as. This is like, please don't, you know, I can appreciate, especially online, where things, I think, are so lacking in nuance all the time. I think it's easy sometimes to perhaps, you know, and I've experienced this before making videos about sensitive topics or complex, nuanced topics. People hear me talking about a certain thing and they see it in black and white and say that I'm saying one thing about somebody. It's like, that's not the case, right? There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on and it's nuanced, it is. So it's like, I feel for them all. And it's like, as much as my commentary is going to be more erring towards Jamie and his family, because even that's going to come across a certain way, right? The show isn't focusing on the young girl, at least not right now. So there is a risk that I'm sounding less empathetic towards the young girl in the way that I'm being empathetic towards Jamie, right? Which might come across and be communicated to you folks watching as bias or something like that, right? But it isn't. It's just that right now the show is focused on what it's focused on. It's focused on Jamie. And so my commentary is, do you know what I mean? Focused on that. And I think it's interesting though, really interesting, and I think topical, because I think more and more this is what's happening. I think young boys are, I think social media is such a dangerous thing, especially for young people of all genders. You know, I think it injects this idea. I think it rots the brains of adults, never mind kids who are still learning and still forming, you know, their way of being and how they see people and things in the world and society. He's clearly the kid. Jamie's clearly gone down a rabbit hole, and he's learned to perceive and treat women a certain way. Clearly there's objectification there, and he shouldn't have had so much access to it. I think it really is so unhealthy. You know, which perspective do you want to come from? You know, do you want to come from the perspective of Instagram models, again, of any gender, the gender that you identify with, let's say? Because you look at that beauty standard, and if you don't, this is one example, and if you don't conform with that ideal, you feel bad about yourself, you feel ugly, you feel like you're not attractive, you know, which even something like that is so eroding of a person, but especially a young person. God. And sorry, that's one example. There are so many other examples. And I think, you know, it seems as if this show is called Adolescence, right? The process of growing up, of learning, of forming ourselves as humans. Young humans that are going to grow into adults. It seems to be, obviously at the moment, to have a focus on society, how the roles in regard to gender shape and form us. Clearly the way that Jamie's learning from his family, his dad, the way that he gives respect to his dad over his mum. Who did he choose? He chose his dad. How he's clearly not been taught as a kid to process what he's feeling, to communicate. This came as a complete shock to his dad. His dad was also talking about, look, you know, he was on call. He wasn't there. You know, it's a question of how often is he there as well. All of these things. And I, you know, I'm going to reserve a little bit of judgment until I see the rest of the show, because I feel like it's going to go into it a little bit more. There'll be more opportunity to talk about it rather than getting ahead of myself. I think it's a really clever thing to not confirm to the audience that he's done it. You highly suspect it at this point. But I think it's really interesting to end with confirming that he was violent towards her. It's kind of teasing the big thing, not quite giving you it, but giving you enough fodder, you know, food to talk about these things, these issues, why he's done it, give you an impression of him, especially in the way that the episode has arrayed him as the innocent kid. You know, yeah, sure, you're suspecting, you're like, okay, it seems sus, but until you kind of see that interview at the end, you don't know. And I think, you know, going through the episode, seeing him depicted as a scared, crying kid, vulnerable kid, really, really is like leads you in to a place of empathizing with him, which I think is sometimes, you know, you talking about this stuff and that's hard for people to do. And I get that. I get it, right? Another kid has been horribly killed, and that's horrific. It's such an awful thing. And so it's so easy, I think, for the audience, perhaps some part of the audience, to look at this kid, Jamie, and go throw the book at him. And I think the way that the episode was paced out, the way it was constructed, gives the audience the best chance, like I say, to empathize. And I think that's important. I think the reaction, I think, you know, the commentary is on young men, young boys who are lashing out in the way they are. We see it all the time in the world today, unfortunately. And I think there needs to be appropriate force in regards to doling out punishment while also finding the root of the issue and seeking the path to nurture and care for this very troubled kid. Because that should be the goal, to empathize, to find out why so we can fix, right? Anyway, that was episode 1. Thank you so much for watching. Hey, if you enjoyed this video and this is your first video that you ever saw of mine or of my channel, please do consider subscribing down below. I'll be doing an episode of Adolescence every single Wednesday until I'm finished. Links down in the description if you can't wait. I got early access to all my videos down there. Thank you, as always, to my patrons, my YouTube members. Genuinely, thank you so much for your support. But that's it. Episode 1, deep stuff, complex, nuanced. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of it. So yeah, until next Wednesday, I'll see ya.